Hi everyone. I decided to make a video of my creative homework for this week. Before I get started, I thought it'd be fun. I will share with you my studio where I am. So I live in a 1905 four square house in small town, Iowa. And it has this really wonky room that is right off our bathroom of all places. So this is my weird space that I have created have made into my little art studio. So there you can see I've got like an IKEA thing of supplies. I have a filing cabinet that is actually full of all of my art journals, and I'll tell more about that in a second. Up on the shelves, there's some more supplies. And as we go around, I kind of have a picnic basket addiction. There's this wonderful window, and in the summertime, I sit in front of there and paint. And then I use that long table to do jelly printing and that kind of thing. A few more supplies, and then it spins around to my current space, and there's more shelves that go up there of some of my fun things. And then I have all my paints and my basic stuff here at this table. So that's where I am. This is where I create. I come here every morning to paint. So this assignment was absolutely perfect for me, and it was not a stretch at all. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if anything, what it did do is forced me to take the full amount of time. A lot of times during the school year, I have a tendency to maybe fit in 10, 15 minutes before meetings in the mornings. And this week, I made sure that I was up by 5 a.m. and got in a full hour of time, at least before school and maybe a little bit after school, to really work on my art. So all of this actually comes very, very naturally to me, like I was saying. So I started art journaling about 10 years ago. When I was fresh out of college, I actually read most of The Artist's Way. I tried doing the writing pages, and it was not a very good fit for me. I got kind of bored with it very quickly, and I didn't stick with it at all. Then I read the book Simple Abundance by Sarah Ben Breathnach, and I've actually read it a couple of times since then. So there for a while, I was keeping, here's one of those journals. I was keeping lists of gratitude things. So like 5 or 6 things a day, sometimes a lot more. And I found that was good for me, but that got kind of stale as well. And then about 10 years ago, I went through a really bad episode of depression and anxiety. That's something that runs in my family, and it was bad. So I knew I needed to go a little bit deeper, do something a little bit more. And so then, as I started reading my Bible more every morning, because I have a strong faith, and I was doing devotions and trying to really pray on some things and get some guidance that way, I started to, in just this little dinky notebook lined, I started stamping from stuff for my scrapbooking stuff. I would do some calligraphy. It was super, super simple kinds of stuff. But the more I did it this way, the more I loved it. And it kind of took on its own life. So, like I said, that was about 10 years ago. So I actually there started making sure I had 30 to 45 minutes every morning. And at that point, I was homeschooling my kids. So I was able to get in a good chunk of time fairly easily, and then even able to get more time later on in the day. And it actually turned into a business for a while. I was selling prints of the artwork from some of the journals on Etsy, at craft shows, art fairs, and I actually got some licensing deals from it. And I actually did some speaking to go along with it, and did workshops on doing morning art journaling. So, of all things. So, I am obviously a huge proponent and fan of this. It made a huge difference in my life. And like I said, it's been 10 years and I'm still doing it, and it has never gotten old. Um, sometimes I am just doodling, especially if it's like one of those mornings I only have 10 minutes before class or before school starts. A lot of times it's in response to what I read in my Bible or devotions. I still do a lot of illustrating of and typography that goes with the Bible verses. Um, and that's most of what I sold. But between teaching and this, and at one point they wanted me to do more licensing and do more of those kinds of things. And it was taking away from the personalness of my morning time and how it was affecting me. It became something that was creating for them and trying to get them what they wanted. And my artwork got really stale. It was really forced. I was having a really hard time doing it. And so I told them no more. And I'm back to just art journaling for me. I share them on Instagram sometimes now. I don't have time to do the blog and the Etsy store and any of that kind of stuff anymore. But that was something that really helped me work through a lot of personal things and helped me really grow as a person. So, like I said, huge proponent for doing morning painting time. So, with no further ado, I'll share some of the things that I have been working on. So, kind of some, not this morning, but I have like several journals that I do work on. So, I have this super cool leather one that I got this summer at an art fair. And in here, I paint birds or flowers. This is kind of me trying to keep track of all the things that I love in nature and some of my favorites. This one, I usually have at least one, and I'm super addicted to these Canson Mixed Media books. So this one is all jelly prints. So I sit and make a bunch of those like on a Saturday morning or over the summer. And then I glue them in here. And then this is a lot of collage and then drawing on top of it. All sorts of stuff in there. So that's that. And that brings me to what I worked on this week. So this is one of them that I did. And it says, "Let It Go, Move with the Flow," which is a Christian song by Jason Gray that I really like right now. And so these are kind of all of the crazy things flowing out of my brain that have been happening. All of the negative things that are going out and all of the positive things I want to keep in and just let this other stuff go. I didn't get this one painted, but I don't know if you can read it. It was from, it says, "Water is a creative lubricant." And I got that from one of the things that we listened to. I immediately sketched that out. And then I haven't finished this one. I started this one this morning, and it came from our things we listened to as well. And it says, "Sprinkles of ideas land on me and I wish I could record them." So that's thinking about how like I get tons of ideas in the shower. So this is when I finished. This is, it says, "Be constantly renewed in the spirit of your mind." And it's a reference to the devotional that I did that was talking about how this verse is a bridge between two other verses about the old self and the new self and how we're doing things. So this is one that, like, this is what I really love about art journaling, is that I can take a concept like that and I can create a piece of artwork that is super meaningful to me. And other people can see it, but they don't necessarily have to pick up on everything I was going through and thinking about during that time. But for me, I can sit and paint this whole time thinking about things I need to change, what I have changed, and how I've gotten from place to place. So then I think that's all in that book. But I have like 4 books. So this one I kind of started this morning too. So this one is from Psalm 5:3. O Lord, in the morning I pray and praise you and listen for you through the day. This is just a dragonfly I did one morning. That one was just kind of fun. This one, I'm kind of loving this one. So this is the verse from Matthew 6. And can anyone by worrying add a single hour to your span of life? Why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. So I kind of like that one. That one kind of made my heart happy. And then, let's see, I think there's a couple others. I gotta find them. So I will put some pictures up of some of the others, but this is kind of what I do now. It's gotten much more illustration style. Lots and lots of bright color. I'm also known for painting these in the morning and then bringing this with me to staff meetings, and I'm doing a lot of the black outlining then. Or I also do it at baseball games and basketball games, and it helps me keep my mouth shut and from saying not nice things about having to be at sports. So with my family, this one's kind of fun. She says, check out her eyebrow. She goes like, that's what I thought. So that's some of my artwork. I hope you were able to enjoy this time creatively this week too, and that it meant a lot to you. So thank you. I loved it. It got me back on track again, and I'm going to make sure that I spend lots of time doing this over the next few years again. And for at least this school year, I'm going to make sure I make time.